Hello again, I'm back with another video, this time to show you how to use your TI calculator to find the statistics for the group data and for the raw data. So let's get to it. We're going to start with the raw data first. Alright, so we have your calculator, and the first thing that we're going to do, obviously after we turn it on, is to go into the stat menu. So we're going to click on the stat button here, stat, and we're going to select the first option that says edit. Okay, so when we're in edit, you're going to see all of your lists, and what you need to do is to copy all of the numbers in your raw data onto your calculator. All right, in this case it's 80 different numbers, which is a lot of information, but you have to do it one by one. So I did that before I started the video just so that it wouldn't be so long. All right, so after you copy all of the numbers onto your calculator, what you're going to do is again click on stat. We're going to move to the right here to where it says calc by clicking the right arrow. All right, and the first option says one var stats, which means one variable statistics, and we're going to press on that one, clicking on number 1, and we get this sub menu here, the settings that we're going to need to fix. All right, so the first option says list, and we are going to type in whatever list our information is in. And in this case, I typed it in on list 1, so we can leave the list 1. But if you need to change it, all you need to do is second and click on the list that you saved the information in. All right, the frequency list is going to be blank. Make sure that the frequency list is blank. If there's anything written here, if you have anything at all written here, make sure you clear it out first before you move on to the next step. After that, we can go down to where it says calculate here, and then we can click on enter, and voila, the calculator does all of the work for us super fast. The first number you see there next to the X with the line on top is the mean. Okay, so that's the one where we add all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. So that's 12.3625. That's the mean, and there's a bunch of other information there that I'm not going to talk about specifically, but you guys can play around with the calculator and try to figure it out. Another one of the important ones that we're going to use for this class is the standard deviation, which is one of the measures of dispersion, if you remember. So the one here that has this little ball with the X, okay, this little ball is actually the Greek letter sigma, and this is the standard deviation. All right, so 8.168910194 is the standard deviation. Make sure that you use this option and not the one with the S, okay, because it's easy to get them confused because the numbers are always going to be similar and standard deviation starts with an S, so it's easy to get confused. But we're not using the one with the S, we're using the one with the letter sigma, the little circle. All right, that's the standard deviation. N equals 80, of course, tells you how many data points you have in your data set. You have the minimum, the quartile 1, the quartile 3. I'm not going to go into detail about those two things, but it's something that you guys studied back in 6th grade when you were making the box and whisker plot. You needed to know quartile 1 and quartile 3, right? Or the upper quartile and the lower quartile, I think, is another name for them. Here we have the median as well. So MED for median is 15. And the maximum, which is 22. Now this calculator doesn't give you the mode, but the mode, we don't really need a calculator for that. It's the number that appears the most in the data set. So we don't need a calculator for that one, all right? The calculator does a lot of work for us here. And that's it for the raw data. So now let's check out how to do the same process with the grouped data. Okay, so I went ahead and paused the video and cleared all of the lists and then constructed the frequency table. So we're going to go into the stat menu again. We're going to go into edit, and here's the frequency table. Okay, so I'm not going to go into detail about how to do the frequency table because that's in one of the previous videos. So if you need any help with that, make sure you check out the videos that we did before. All right, so here we have on list 1 the lower boundary, list 2 is the upper boundary, list 3 is the class marks, and list 4 is the frequency. All right, and for this process that we're going to look at, we're going to use the class mark, meaning list 3, and the frequency, meaning list number 4. Okay, so we're going to go into stat. We're going to, again, it's the same process. We're going to move to the right to where it says calc by clicking the right arrow. And then the first option says 1 var stats. So we're going to click on that one, 1 var stats, by pressing the number 1. And then we get the sub menu again. Okay, so now remember that we're going to use the class mark and the frequency. So the list here is where the class mark is. And my class mark is on list 3. So I'm going to put second 3 for list 3. Okay. Now you obviously, if you saved it somewhere else, then you would just put the list where you saved it. Okay. And then we're going to move down, frequency list. So the frequency, if you remember, my frequency table is list number 4. So I'm going to click on second, the number 4, and that's going to be my frequency list, list number 4. After we've done that, we can go down to where it says calculate and click enter. All right, and voila, the calculator does all of the work for us super fast. Here we have the first number, x, with the line on top, x bar. Again, that's the mean. So the mean for this data set is 13.05. We have some other information that I'm not going to get into so much. Remember the little ball here, the sigma, the little ball one, that's the standard deviation, which is one of our measures of dispersion, right? We have the minimum, the quartile 1, the median, which is 16.5. Quartile 3, the maximum, and that's it, okay? And that's how to find all of the statistics from a grouped data set. And that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you practice, and see you next time. Bye.